I started playing baseball as far back as I can remember. My mom likes to tell a story that as soon as I could throw socks and throw things, that I would crawl over to it and pick it up and throw it. She always says that I was about 2 years old, or knowing that I started walking and throwing. And I played the park board and Kiwanis for t-ball, and then it was coach pitch, I think, and then kid pitch was a lot earlier back then than it is now, I think, as far as age-wise. But back then there was no real travel ball or any too formal leagues, I guess. Everybody played through the park board. I went to Wilder Elementary, so I guess we had a team elementary, and then I played for the Smiths Redbirds. A guy named Earl Smith started that baseball team, and he had a field in his backyard, so we'd practice there, and he did a lot for for me and for those guys on the team. It was kind of like a family atmosphere without him really making that a point, I think. But played with the Smiths Redbirds from I think around 4th or 5th grade all the way through junior high until I was an 8th grader. Then I joined the Glendale Legion program in 8th grade. It was rookie ball back then is what they called it. But then just played for Glendale through high school. Played pitcher mostly. When I was younger, I played some outfield. Even in high school, I played outfield and played some first base. And then in high school, I was, I believe, all conference a couple of years. I was never all state. My brother was all state, so he likes to give me some grief about that. I played college baseball at Labette Community College in Parsons, Kansas for 2 years as a pitcher. And then from there I transferred to Evangel University here in Springfield and was a pitcher as well. It's been a long time ago. I can't remember any stats or anything like that that stick out. But it was an enjoyable experience, and met a lot of good guys, and that's still in touch with. So it was fond memories back in college baseball. I started my coaching career as an assistant for Tim Leeper at Fair Grove when I did my student teaching in spring of 2001. And from there, I was lucky enough to get the job at Forsyth. I was an assistant under Neil Richardson for 8 years at Forsyth. And then when he retired from coaching, I took over the head coaching position there. I think it was 2010 was my first spring as a head coach. And then spent 8 years there as head coach, and then took the job here at Glendale in 2017, and still currently here, fortunately. There's three coaches that kind of come to mind. First one is Neil Richardson. That was his assistant at Forsyth. As a young coach and assistant coach, you aspire to be a head coach, and he did a great job of showing me what it took kind of behind the scenes, not just on-field things and in-game things, but relationships with players and the paperwork and everything that goes into it and preparation. So he did a great job of kind of mentoring me and giving me more responsibilities each year that a head coach would has to do each year. So he did a great job of telling me to pay attention to details. One of the things he told me early on was, don't expect the players to know anything. If you just treat them like they don't know anything, because if you assume that they know something basic that you think is basic, then you get in a game maybe, and there's an error or mistake or something like that you just figured they would know. So he had a story like on bus rides. He would, I guess, that was called Ask the Coach. And so he would let the players come up with questions about rules or about situations and things like that on bus rides. And players would learn something, coaches would, if we didn't know, we would look it up in the rule book, and so it was kind of a neat way to cover some things, that we may not be able to cover in practice as far as rules or situations and things like that. That was pretty interesting. When I was at Glendale as a player, I played for Coach Bell. He was my JV coach, and Coach Stratton was the varsity coach at that time, and I played for him once I got to the varsity level. But Coach Bell and Coach Stratton, both of them, made the game fun, but also intense once you get between the lines. Have a lot of fun. We would learn things. We would play hard, and we would have competitive practices and things like that. So they were really good at building relationships with players and trust factor between players and coaches, going both ways. So those guys I really looked up to and enjoyed playing for, and just I really look forward every year to our annual coaches clinic in Jeff City. Get to hear coaches talk about things they do and different things like that, and I always come back with good ideas and good insight in that clinic. And every time we play somebody new or play some of the same people that we play, I always try to have a chance to talk to them before or after the game, or pick something up from them during the game or something like that. And I think you have to do that as a coach, and a lot of coaches will probably tell you have to be able to and willing to learn, constantly. I really enjoy, that aspect of it, being able to talk to coaches, and I'm involved in the association, so, getting to talk to coaches behind the scenes and different things, organization-wise, different things like that, not just baseball-wise. My coaching philosophy, what I take from some of the other guys, obviously we want to be competitive and have competitive practices. I've been fortunate enough to have pretty quality players over the years and pretty deep teams most of the time, so I think that helps build that competitive nature in practices and things like that. So I think the fun, enjoyable aspect of it plays a big part in some success that you might have. It's hard to play, if you're worried about making a mistake or tense or anything like that, so we just try to instill confidence, not cockiness, but confidence, and just relaxing and playing a game and having fun. I think, success breeds success, and they have a little bit of freedom to just relax and kind of be themselves at times. I think my teams are successful because I've been fortunate to have some good players throughout my career, and that always helps. One thing, I've had some parents, were mentioned to me, and Coach Walls and some of my assistants here throughout the years when they come back, is that they miss playing for us and miss playing baseball because it was fun. We had fun, we won, we were competitive. And I think my secret, I guess, to staying calm, I guess, is on the outside anyway. I'm not calm on the inside most of the time. Players feed off of that both ways. If a coach is, super high strung, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I think my personality is more, kind of calm and collected. That's how I was as a pitcher too, and I try to be calm or show that I'm calm and confident, in big situations and things like that, so the players hopefully will, kind of stay confident in things and not get too high or too low, because baseball is one of those games that there's no clock, so the other team can't run the clock out. You may be down 10 runs, you may be up 10 runs, but you have to finish the game regardless. And if you're down, you still have time to come back. The other team has to get you out. So, and then if you're up, you can't off the gas pedal. You have to finish. So I can get loud at times, but that's not really my personality. And I think maybe, when I do get loud on occasion, that gets the players' attention more than if I was loud or uptight or something like that, I think. So, first and foremost, the lessons we're trying to convey to players: be competitive, because in life, whether it's a job interview or something like that, it's a competition more or less. You're trying to have them prepared for class, for practice, for games, things like that. Baseball is a lot like life. It's a game based on failure. You're going to fail in life. You're going to fail at baseball. You're going to fail in class sometimes, but being able to overcome that. It's a long game, so being able to overcome something that happens early or even late, and have a short memory, and be ready for the next play or the next pitch, or whatever the case is there. So just trying to, be good teammates, and hopefully that translates into adulthood and being good fathers or husbands or people in the community.